Texas is the second largest state in America, and hidden inside it are towns where the violent crime rate runs 6 times the national average. Not in cities, not in places you'd expect, in small towns. Towns with no stoplights, no tourists, and no warning signs. In the next few minutes, you're going to see 20 small Texas towns that the FBI's own crime data and U.S. Census records have flagged as among the most dangerous communities in the entire country. Whether you're driving through Texas, considering a move, or just curious, this list could matter more than you think. And the number 1 most dangerous small town on this list, it's not the one you'd guess. It doesn't even make the evening news. We'll get to it at the very end. But first, let's start the countdown. Number 20. Crystal City, Texas. Crystal City sits in Zavala County, one of the poorest counties in the entire United States, with a poverty rate hovering near 40%, according to U.S. Census Bureau estimates. In 2019, the city made national headlines when its mayor and city manager were indicted on federal bribery charges, exposing deep institutional corruption at every level of local government. When a town's leadership is under federal indictment, it rarely signals safety for its residents. Number 19. Palmview, Texas. Nestled along the Rio Grande in Hidalgo County, Palmview records property crime rates that run nearly 3 times the Texas state average, according to local law enforcement data. In recent years, residents have reported a sharp rise in vehicle thefts and home burglaries tied to smuggling corridor activity in the region. Its position along one of the busiest cross-border trafficking routes in the Southwest shapes daily life here in ways most Americans never see. Number 18. Beeville, Texas. Beeville, the seat of B County, boasts a violent crime rate that FBI Uniform Crime Report data places well above the national median for towns of its size. The city gained grim attention in 2021 when a string of aggravated assaults and domestic violence incidents overwhelmed the local police department's limited resources. High unemployment, consistently above 10%, and limited economic opportunity have quietly made Beeville one of South Texas's most overlooked danger zones. Number 17. Eagle Pass, Texas. Eagle Pass sits directly on the U.S.-Mexico border and has become ground zero for some of the most intense law enforcement activity in the state. Census data shows that over 33% of residents live below the poverty line, and local crime reports cite significant increases in violent incidents correlated with border-related trafficking operations. It is a town caught in the crossfire of forces far larger than itself. Number 16. Weslaco, Texas. Weslaco in the Rio Grande Valley records violent crime figures that rank among the highest for mid-sized Texas towns, according to Texas Department of Public Safety annual reports. In 2020, a federal investigation into local gang networks uncovered drug distribution operations running directly through residential neighborhoods. Poverty and proximity to the border have created a compounding cycle of crime that local officials have struggled to break. Number 15. Sulphur Springs, Texas. Sulphur Springs in Hopkins County reports a property crime rate nearly double the national average per capita. In 2022, the town saw a notable spike in methamphetamine-related arrests that strained its county jail to capacity, drawing attention from state-level drug enforcement agencies. What looks like a quiet East Texas town from the highway conceals a substance abuse crisis that has quietly reshaped its neighborhoods. Number 14. Huntsville, Texas. Huntsville is home to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice headquarters and 7 state prisons, a concentration of incarceration infrastructure unlike almost anywhere else in America. The FBI's crime data for Walker County reflects above-average violent crime rates, and criminologists have long noted the social disruption that follows communities built around mass incarceration. The prison economy sustains the town, but it comes at a measurable cost to community safety. Number 13. Lufkin, Texas. Lufkin in Angelina County sits deep in East Texas's Piney Woods region and carries a violent crime rate that Texas DPS data places significantly above state and national averages. In 2021, a series of gang-related shootings in residential areas prompted city officials to convene an emergency public safety summit. Persistent unemployment, limited social services, and geographic isolation have made recovery here slow and uneven. Number 12. Corsicana, Texas. Corsicana in Navarro County records assault and robbery figures that stand out even within Texas, a state not known for low crime. Census data shows a poverty rate above 25%, and local reports from the Corsicana Police Department document consistent year-over-year increases in violent incidents. It is a former oil boom town that never found a second act, and the economic collapse left deep social scars. Number 11. Texas City, Texas. Texas City carries one of the most tragic histories in American industrial memory. A 1947 ship explosion killed nearly 600 people in what remains one of the deadliest industrial accidents in U.S. history. Today, the city's crime rate per capita ranks among the highest in Galveston County, with FBI data flagging elevated levels of aggravated assault and theft. Decades of petrochemical industry decline have hollowed out the local economy and left entire neighborhoods without adequate resources. Number 10. Marshall, Texas. Marshall in Harrison County sits in deep East Texas with a violent crime rate that FBI data consistently places in the top tier for Texas towns its size. Over a third of residents live at or below the poverty line according to Census Bureau estimates, and the local school district has faced repeated state intervention for chronic underperformance. For a town once celebrated as a regional cultural hub, the decline has been as swift as it has been severe. We are exactly halfway through this list, and the 10 towns still ahead of us are significantly more dangerous than anything we've covered so far. The data gets harder to look at from here. Stay with us. Number 9. Pecos, Texas. Pecos in Reeves County carries a violent crime rate that, when adjusted for population, ranks among the most alarming of any small town in West Texas. The region has seen repeated federal law enforcement operations targeting cartel-connected smuggling networks that use the area's remote geography to their advantage. Residents frequently describe a sense that law enforcement is simply outnumbered by the forces it's trying to contain. Number 8. Palestine, Texas. Palestine in Anderson County records property and violent crime rates that exceed the Texas state average by a significant margin, according to DPS annual reports. In 2020, the city's murder rate per capita briefly ranked among the highest in the entire state, a sobering figure for a town most Texans associate with an annual wildflower festival. Beneath the scenic exterior is a community under sustained economic and social pressure. Number 7. Bay City, Texas. Bay City in Matagorda County has seen its crime indices climb steadily over the past decade as the local petrochemical economy contracted. FBI data shows violent crime rates well above the national average, and local law enforcement records document persistent gang-related activity in several residential corridors. The closure of a major regional employer accelerated an outmigration of younger residents, leaving behind a population with fewer resources and fewer options. Number 6. Clarksville, Texas. Clarksville is one of the smallest towns on this list, and one of the most alarming, with a poverty rate census data places above 40% and a per capita violent crime rate that ranks in the top percentile for Texas communities of its size. Clarksville is a textbook case of rural collapse. A town that once served as a prosperous agricultural hub now struggles to maintain basic municipal services, and its crime statistics reflect that reality. Number 5. Diboll, Texas. Diboll in Angelina County is a former timber company town where the departure of its anchor employer decades ago triggered a long economic unraveling. Texas DPS data shows violent crime rates for Diboll that are deeply disproportionate to its tiny population, and methamphetamine-related criminal activity has been documented repeatedly by state and federal law enforcement. In small towns like this one, the data rarely lies about what daily life looks like on the ground. Number 4. Eagle Lake, Texas. Eagle Lake in Colorado County may be one of the least known entries on this list, which makes its crime data all the more striking. FBI-adjacent state crime reporting shows violent incident rates per 1,000 residents that rival towns 5 times its size. Locals interviewed by regional media have described an atmosphere of resignation, a sense that the town's trajectory has been set, and nobody in Austin is paying close enough attention to change it. Number 3. Colorado City, Texas. Colorado City in Mitchell County made national headlines in 2021 when its mayor sent a widely condemned message to residents during a deadly winter storm, telling them their hardship was not the local government's problem. The moment exposed the depth of civic neglect in a town where poverty rates exceed 30% and where infrastructure, services, and safety nets have all been steadily eroded. Crime data from the Texas DPS confirms what residents already know. This is a community that has been left behind. Number 2. Junction, Texas. Junction in Kimball County is a remote hill country town that registers violent crime figures wildly out of proportion to its modest size. State crime reports show per capita assault rates that place it among the top-ranked small towns for violence in all of Texas, a fact almost completely absent from any public coverage of the region. Its isolation, hours from the nearest major city, means emergency response times are long and deterrence is minimal. And number 1, Falfurrias, Texas. Falfurrias in Brooks County is the most dangerous small town in Texas, and almost no one outside South Texas has heard of it. Brooks County has no city police force, relying entirely on an underfunded county sheriff's department to patrol a region that has become one of the deadliest corridors for undocumented migration in the country. The county medical examiner has processed hundreds of unidentified human remains found in the surrounding brush. Poverty exceeds 45% by census estimates. The violent crime rate per capita, when accounting for population, is among the highest of any comparable community in the state. Falfurrias doesn't make the news because the people suffering there rarely do. Those are the 20 most dangerous small towns in Texas. Built not from rumors or headlines, but from FBI data, Census Bureau figures, and state law enforcement reports that most people never read. Now we want to hear from you. Drop in the comments. Which state should we cover next? And if this kind of deep dive documentary content is what you want more of, subscribe. Because next week, we're covering the most dangerous small towns in Louisiana. And that list will genuinely shock you.